Hello, Bryce here, just jumping into the top of the pod with a little request for help. Right now, the Federal Parliament is looking into social media and its impact on Australian society. Now, we're going to make a submission as Squiz Kids based on the success of Newshounds, our media literacy program for primary school kids, which is now, if you can believe it, in more than 2,500 classrooms and counting. Now, we'd love you to be a part of our submission by filling out a survey that we've created. You'll find the link in our episode notes. Put simply, if we can't get the federal government to help fund Newshounds, we may no longer be able to produce it. So please, help us so we can help your kids.
Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Kombumerri people.
Squiz Kids! It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello, fabulous Squiz Kids listeners, and welcome to the Kids vs. Adults Weekly News Quiz. Your chance to see who's had their listening ears on and been paying the most attention to the week that just was. I'm Bryce Corbett. All week in the Squiz Kids Today podcast, we've been bringing you the big news stories of the day, run through our kid-friendly filter to make sure you know all you need to know about the world around you. Now, it's time to test how much of the week's news you've retained, and in the process, see who's smarter, kids or adults. Plus, of course, because it's a Friday, we've got all today's birthday shout-outs and all the shout-outs for the weekend ahead, including, of course, the birthday reggae tune, because it wouldn't be a Friday without it. So, here's how the quiz works. 5 questions for the kids about the week in news, then 5 questions for adults. Whoever answers the most correct questions wins. Easy. You ready? Let's do this. All right, kids, here are your 5 questions. Question number 1. Let's kick off with a pop culture question, because it's a Friday, and we want to ease into this. Fans at a big stadium concert in Edinburgh this week jumped up and down so much that they made the earth move. Whose concert was it? Yes, of course, it was Taylor Swift. Who else? Question number 2. All right, one for the sports fans now. The Euro 2024 football tournament got underway in Germany this week, with all the European countries competing against one another. French striker Kylian Mbappe suffered a blow when he broke what in a game against Austria? And I'll give you a hint. He's going to have a hard time smelling the roses this week. Yep, that's right. He broke his nose. Ouch. Question number 3. We heard in the podcast this week how commuters on a train in Hong Kong got the shock of their lives when what slithered down a carriage under their feet? Did the slithering give it away? Yeah, of course, it was a snake. Oy. Question number 4. We also heard in the podcast this week how archaeologists in Egypt uncovered a mummy who looked a lot like which cartoon character? And I'll give you a hint. She's married to Homer and is mum to Bart, Lisa and Maggie. Well done if you said Marge Simpson. Question number 5. The week in news started with a visit to Australia by Chinese Premier Li Cheng. He visited Adelaide Zoo to check in on Wang Wang and Fu Ni. What sort of animals are they? Well done if you said pandas. How did you go, kids? How many did you get right out of 5? And do you think that's going to be enough to beat the adults? I'm hoping so. All right, adults, now it's your turn. Let's fire up the old grey matter. Here we go. Question number 1. On the subject of Marge Simpson, and more specifically her hubby Homer and his workplace, the building of what sort of energy power stations were mooted this week by the federal opposition? Yep, that's right, they're nuclear power stations. Question number 2. On the subject of pandas, true or false? During his visit to Adelaide this week, the Chinese Premier announced that Wang Wang and Fu Ni would stay at Adelaide Zoo for another 5 years. That's false. They're sending Wang Wang and Fu Ni home and sending a couple of new pandas to replace them. Question number 3. A sporting question now. And which favourite son of the AFL team Richmond played his 300th game last weekend? Yeah, of course, it was Dustin Martin, or Dusty to his mates. Question number 4. True or false? The Reserve Bank held interest rates steady when they met this week. It is in fact true, which is good news for homeowners and mortgage holders. Question number 5. Name the Aussie swim champion, a multiple gold medal winner who's competed at no fewer than 4 Olympic Games, who just missed out on qualifying to compete for Australia in Paris this week. Well done, mums and dads and adults, if you said Kate Campbell. How did you go, adults? How many did you get right? Did you beat the kids? Who has won bragging rights this week? Now, if you've missed any of these cool news stories throughout the week and you want to refresh your memory, all of this week's Squiz Kids episodes are available for a re-listen wherever you get your podcasts. That's the end of the quiz, which means it's now time for...
Shout-outs.
It's Friday, June 21. Today is the winter solstice, which means we're halfway through winter. Thank goodness for that. It's also Take Your Dog to Work Day, which in my case is every single day because I work from home. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today and over the coming weekend. And because it's a Friday, let's crack out that old birthday reggae tune. Hit it! And it's happy birthday to Linson from Castle Hill, Olivia from Greystanes, Addie from Rapid Bay, Harper from Ultimo, Hayden from Allambie Heights, Aston from Doncaster, Lele and Olive from Cannon Hill, Harvey from Ivanhoe, Joshua from Aldinga Beach, Missy, Iliot and Nye from Secret Harbour, Miller from Burracup, Daisy from Shell Harbour, Oliver from Templestowe, Henry from Chapman, James from Orange, Sol from Maruka, Braxton from Canning Vale, gosh, there's a lot of you this weekend, Indigo from South Ripley, Charlie from Goulburn and Minnie Daniel from Rose Bay. Belated birthday wishes go to Leonardo from Mountain Creek and Sky from North Manly. Well, that's all we have time for. I hope you're enjoying these quizzes. Don't forget there'll be a new one dropping first thing every Friday morning. And the best bit, they're absolutely free. Just as our other excellent content is free too. We're talking a Squiz Kids Today news podcast on Mondays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, a Squiz Kids Shortcut or a Squiz the World every Tuesday, and for all the teachers out there, there's the Classroom Companion, our teacher-produced classroom activity sheets, curriculum aligned and tied to the Daily Pod on Mondays, and whose entire back catalogue is now searchable via our website. Genius. Check it all out at squizkids.com.au or simply subscribe to Squiz Kids in your favourite podcasting app and all this audio content will magically appear. For now, this is Bryce Corbett signing off and reminding you all to get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.